Chapter 20. James. It took all of my self-restraint to walk away when she asked me to come over that night, but the past week had been so painful, I knew it had to be done. There was no way I was going to let myself get involved with her when the end result would just be rejection. I couldn't handle that again, and I wasn't going to give her the chance. If she really wanted a relationship, I would be ecstatic. But I wasn't going to count my chickens before they hatched. One night, or even a string of nights, wasn't enough. I wanted the whole thing without getting my heart stomped on. All I had to do was deny myself instant gratification and let Alice decide what she really wanted. Getting in my car, I waited until she pulled away. There were 2 more days until Christmas, and after that, if she didn't want to see me anymore, there would be no reason to. It seemed logical to wait until the holiday was over and then determine if there was anything real going on between us. Once the contract was over, if we wanted to see each other, we would have to admit that we actually cared. I drove straight home and took a shower before falling into bed. I woke early the next morning and went to the gym. Pounding my emotions out on the treadmill, I did 1 circuit through the upper body machines. It centered me, as always, and made me proud of my decision the night before. I was looking out for myself and for Alice at the same time. So what if it hurt in the short term? It was better for both of us down the road. I wanted to take a day off, but couldn't afford to. The guests had started to arrive for the 2 Christmas weddings, and that meant last-minute hotel changes. Someone had booked 2 adjoining rooms and found that the hotel had only given them 1. An estranged aunt showed up from Texas bringing her boyfriend and his children with her. That meant several more dinners and additional goodie bags. Alice was taking a break from planned events until Christmas Eve. Her office was working on overdrive, and I didn't want to interrupt. I figured she would call me if she had anything to say, and the longer that went without a phone call, the more confident I was in my decision at the shelter. She had obviously reconsidered her position. The invitation had been the product of a tremendous workload and the magic of the shelter party, nothing else. She wasn't interested in a long-term relationship and was thrilled that she had dodged a bullet. That's what I told myself, at least. It was better than wondering why she hadn't called or getting too excited about seeing her again. If I kept my expectations low or non-existent, I would be far less likely to get hurt. Back home that night, I dug something out of the back of my closet. Turning it over in my hand brought back memories. Alice was young when we first met. We were freshmen, both transferring in from different middle schools. We hung around with the same crowd for a while, going to parties and enjoying each other's company. In our junior year, we'd started dating, and that's when our love story took off. I grabbed a jewelry box and lowered the memento inside. Whether or not Alice was interested in being with me, she should have it. It wasn't the greatest gift that I could give her, but it was honest and sentimental. I wrapped it quickly and put it by the front door so I wouldn't forget it. My heartbroken ego continued to watch the phone screen. Every time the email chimed, I picked it up, searching for a message from her. I didn't want to admit I was doing it, but by 9 o'clock, when I was still jumping at every beep, I had to acknowledge my feelings. I had really been hoping that she would come back to me. I envisioned her inviting me to her office or over to her apartment again. She would profess her undying love and insist that she meant it this time around. She would promise never to hurt me, and we would launch the 2nd installment of the James and Alice show. All the laughs, twice the love. But that's not what happened. She was ghosting me, and it hurt. I thought that by giving her space in the parking lot, I was shielding my heart from damage. It turned out I should have just slept with her again, since the outcome was the same. Feeling sorry for myself, I drifted off to sleep. The next day was Christmas Eve, and that meant I had 1 more event at Alice's building. We were going to do stockings by The Fire, and I had a whole display to set up with a mock fireplace and knit stockings for all the employees. There would be gifts to open and Christmas carols to sing. We were all going to circle the Christmas tree and get as traditional as we could. Alice wanted the decorations set up in the morning so that people could enjoy them all day long. And then she wanted a party late into the evening for those without children or families to celebrate. That meant I had to be in by 6 if I wanted enough time to really wow her one last time. I drove into work and picked up my crew. Checking the truck for all the supplies, I gave the all clear. We rumbled over there and parked in the loading zone. Together, we hauled all the party supplies into the building before removing the truck to more permanent digs. "Good morning," Alice said as she walked in on us at 7. "Hi," I responded, not letting on that I had been obsessing about her call for days. It wouldn't benefit anyone to confess my one-track mind, least of all me. "It looks great," she enthused, tugging nervously on her purse strap. "It's not done yet," I said. "Why don't you go get some work done and come back down a little later?" "Okay," she agreed, walking past me to the stairs. "Merry Christmas Eve." "Merry Christmas Eve," I replied, forcing myself to focus on the task at hand. She disappeared up the stairs, leaving me alone once again with my helpers. We worked furiously to get the entire thing set up before the employees arrived. It was almost done by the time the office began to fill up. I set up the last of the stockings while my crew dusted the cardboard mantle with fake snow. It was all set. Almost forgetting, I pulled the jewelry box out of my pocket and tucked it into Alice's stocking. She could open it along with the rest of the presents that weren't personalized but decadent nonetheless.